Hey everybody, it's Robin, certified nutrition specialist, coming on to share with you about my recent mammogram and all the things that have gone on with that, and some lessons learned. So before I'm gonna just tell you this right off the bat. I had a mammogram, and then they called me back to say that they see something. So I'm gonna just put that out there, but I'll take you through the journey with that. I will say it's important for us women, 40 and above, they say, to get your mammogram every year. And I make sure that I do that. And it was time for my yearly mammogram. If you follow me, and maybe you don't know because I recently got married. And I recently got married, and I was preparing at the time when I got the call for them to tell me that they see something. I was packing to leave to go get married. So I had a mammogram on a Thursday, and they called me on Friday morning, right? So really quickly. And what that does to you, or what that did to me, of course, was it scared me tremendously. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, why they call me so fast? It must be something real, terrible that they got to call me right away. And they're like, we want to get you back in here right away. So that whole quickness of the process was just frightened me to my core, honestly. And they were like, well, can we get you in on Friday or something like they wanted to get me in really fast. And again, I was leaving to get married, and so at that time they wanted to schedule me. I couldn't go because I was going to get married. So they scheduled me at a time where I could come. But I can tell you that those 2 days, well, not even 2 days, but those days after, I just had a lot of fear that I've never had before. Because as you get older, you hear all these stories of people, the stories that are just not good. And I eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. I eat well. I take my vitamin D. I do all the things because they say, right, and I'm a nutritionist, it is said that when you have a certain lifestyle, you're least likely to have certain things happen. And that's what I stood on. And then I had not like a premonition, but a feeling earlier on. So I've been eating well, and I've been a nutritionist for 18 years. And prior to that, I had different health issues, and something came over me and said if I didn't change the way that I was eating, that I was living, that I would have illnesses and diseases in the future. And I believe that. And I would say, and I've always said, that food is so powerful. So and it heals. So I'm thinking, what the fuck do they find? Excuse my French. What is it that they can find in my body? I'm not immune to things. The environment that we live in is rough, but I'm thinking, well, damn, what's in there that they call me right away to say that something's in there. And that frightened me. So some sleepless nights, and, just trying to do some self-talk, and breathing, and thinking positive, and praying, and, just trying to focus on, I'm getting married, and let me just be in this moment with my new husband, and all of those things. So I did that. And people that are wiser than me was saying, don't worry, you don't know anything yet. And then I would hear other people that say, yeah, that happened to me. I would hear other people that said, well, yeah, that happened to me and it was okay. And then I hear people say, yeah, that happened to me, and and it led to all these certain things, and it wasn't good for them. So it was just all these stories. But okay, so let me tell you what happened. So I did get the ultrasound. So they did the mammogram, and they wanted to do an ultrasound on my left breast. Very specific. Like the right one was fine, no problem in there, but the left one. And it is said that the left breast, for whatever reason, is in the population more problematic than the right breast. So that scared me too, because I'm like, what's in it? And then I have dense breast tissue, which means that it makes it harder to see things, or it just, dense breast tissue is just more difficult. So they call me in, they do the ultrasound, and they tell me, yeah, we're going to tell you right away what we see, what we find. And again, panic set in. I'm on this table, and they're doing all that jelly on my, and they're like, we got to check your lymph nodes. And I'm just like, what's going on? So they come back, and they tell me that I'm fine. So that's a sigh of relief that I'm fine, right? But I'm gonna tell you why I'm telling you this. So they tell me that I'm fine, that they see a small cyst, which they say is common for, I'm in perimenopause, and it is, now that I'm researching it, it's more common in women 35 to 50, and I'm 48 at the time that I'm saying this, so that it's more common. It's nothing to worry about. It's very, very small, and it's likely to go away, and blah, 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 right? But the point is, the way that the process went, the way that they called me, the way that they were like, we got to get you in right away, the way that they scared the shit out of me, I didn't appreciate, because they could have done it in a different way. And in telling this story, then I hear other people say, yeah, that happened to me. And I hear a lot of women saying that it happened to them. And so just because they call you back doesn't mean that they see something, or maybe they didn't get a good image. Just because they call you back doesn't mean it's something sinister. It could be, but it doesn't mean that. But I feel like if they would have handled it differently, less sterile, less, just call you back, we got to get you back in, a little bit more love and compassion, that would have saved me some of the feelings that I have. So I'm telling you this, you that are listening, that if they call you back, it doesn't mean the worst. I encourage you to do your mammograms every year, because if there's something in there from one year to the next, then it's likely that it's whatever happened from one year to the next, that it hasn't happened in such a big, it's manageable, whatever it is, right? Because you go every year. And I just to say, it happened to me. They called me back to tell me that there's a cyst in there, right? So, and I'm fine, and I'm going to continue to take my fruits and vegetables and eat as best as I can, and take my vitamin D3, K2, and all of the things. And so I would say this again, get your mammograms every year. And just because they call you back doesn't mean that it's something sinister. And I ask God all the time, like, why did you give me this experience? And I know that when I get an experience, I share the experience. I didn't want that experience, but since I have it, I might as well tell it to you. What I also learned about myself at 48 is I don't handle stress as well as I used to in my earlier years, that I'm more prone to erratic emotions that are more difficult to calm. I mean, I was having a really tough time calming myself down. That was new to me. That self-talking and doing all the things and breathing and all the damn things, I wasn't as powerful as I once thought I was. So that's a whole nother thing. But they say that when you're in perimenopause, it's more your emotions, and you're more prone to anxiety and all of those things. So I say that because my talk, my space, my tribe are all women over 40. And we're all going through the same type of situation. So, I need to do more mental self-care for myself, because they say it's, not what happens to you, but how you deal with it. And I would give myself a very poor grade on how I dealt with that situation. I was less resilient than I ever knew that I was, right? I was less warrior. It shook me. So that's my story. All right, y'all. Have a good day, night. Tell a friend. Get their mammograms every year. Tell a friend. Just because they call you back doesn't mean that it's, tragic. And I guess I would say it's not what happens to you. It's how you deal with it. And I realize I got work to do. There you are. Take care.